Good morning. This is Maria Quattrone with Be the Solution, and I am so excited today on Wednesday, October 7th, for my guest, Mike McCann, the real estate man. Mike, good morning.
Hey, top of the morning to you, Maria.
How are you?
Fantastic. I'm a YouTube guy, so it is a beautiful day.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on all your success and also on the opening of your new office out in the burbs. So we could get into that today if you like. So sure. Mike, just so you know, there'll be people, all different types of people listening to this. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about you and your story?
Okay. So I am Mike McCann, the real estate man, and I sell real estate in Center City, Philadelphia for the last 34 years. Again, we just expanded out to the main line because they kind of go hand in hand. So someone told me, you got to think big, Mike. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, think big and double it. I'm like, oh, no. And
Gary Keller?
It's very good. I didn't want to quote that, but absolutely.
That's okay.
Yeah. And I was like, no. And here I am a year and a half later after going to Keller Williams, like opening an office out on the main line. During COVID, I ended up acquiring an office, Keller Williams main line. And so now I am doing things I never dreamed of before. But yeah, so real estate.
How does that feel?
Oh, it's off the charts. Yeah, I feel like I'm brand new. I feel like I was telling my team that I have some partners, and I told them, I said, I'm a D student right now because all I've been doing my whole career is listing and selling real estate and working with my team. So now it's a whole different thing. One of the things I did learn, Maria, is you work on your strengths. I don't try to make my weaknesses better. My weaknesses, I bring people on that are better than me at those weaknesses. And so I'm learning how to, you have that core, you have the circle, and then you have 5 core people. And then those 5 people have 5 people. So I can bring on core people. Like, I'm not an operation. I don't want to sit in the office and look at numbers and stats and all that. So I brought somebody on to help me do my operations, who I trust and who is committed to me. So I can just do what I'm doing. But and so right now I'm helping build agents. That's my I'm still listing real estate in Center City. My team is in Center City, but I'm out on the suburbs on the main line, building an office and growing people. And so I felt like a D student. I feel like I'm now getting up to a C minus, a B, because I'm starting to get into it. So it's different.
It's hard. It's a whole different world. I mean, listing and selling is one thing, and building an office is a completely different thing. And of course, you're going to start at ground zero. I think we think especially overachievers, right? Like yourself, we think, oh, we can do anything, and then we're there. And we're like, okay, well, this is not exactly what I thought, but I'm smart. I'm going to figure it out and put the smartest people around me in the room, right?
That is correct. Yes. And, but it is re-energizing. Although, as you know, I've never lost my passion for real estate. That's why I still do it every day. But I have not worked. I've always worked very hard. But I've not worked so hard. I mean, it's just all the time, but I feel like I'm new. So I'm learning. So it's energizing. So it's very exciting. And I will get this, just never give up. And I will get this, and it's really starting to come together. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great about it.
That's awesome. Well, you just acquired the business. What was it, like 3 months ago or 4 months ago?
2 months. Yeah, 2.5 months ago. So it's a relaunch, it's not like starting your own place. So it's a relaunch. I'm getting those people that are there, and then I'm bringing on new people, and then I'm just coming.
How many agents do you have in that office?
There's 102 agents.
102?
Yeah. And
wow.
Yeah. So we're bringing on people and growing the existing people. And so it's my responsibility to help those agents grow, to bring on new people, to create that culture and that atmosphere. And this Keller Williams office is not really a effective in that marketplace. It's probably number 6 or 7. So I want to get it on the map, and I want to grow it just slow and steady, just like I did with our team in Philly.
So, Mike, I think this is a fantastic time for you to have made that acquisition.
Yeah.
People would maybe disagree with that statement, but the reason I think that is that the best businesses are built in times of crisis, and also the suburbs are on fire, right? So it's a good time to.
Yeah, it's funny. So during COVID, the shutdown, 3 months, I'm negotiating to buy this mainline office, and everybody else is retreating. But I've been through 5 downturns in real estate, and every single time people start to retract, I always move forward. In down times is when the best success and wealth is built. And as long as you have, that confidence and endurance. So yes, if you had told me a year ago you're going to open up a brokerage, I had opportunities over my last 30 years to open up many brokerages. I said, I don't want to do that. I just love people. I just want to sell real estate. I have a great team, and we're very successful, and I love that. I'm like, I don't want the responsibility of having a brokerage. But my mindset changed from going to Keller and thinking bigger. And what really the part about it is I can help more people at a higher level. And as I call it, the last quarter of my career, I only have about 25 years left. So
only about 25.
So it is to really help people. Like the last 10 years, that's really what I really enjoy in real estate, is helping not just my customers and clients, but helping agents grow. And so here I can do it at a much bigger level. And so during that downturn, I was negotiating, like, am I really going to do this really? And this makes sense. And now I look like a genius, because the suburbs, I've never sold in the suburbs, but I've never remember them being on fire. All my sellers in Center City can't find places to buy, and everything's going for, multiple bids. So it looks like a brilliant move. And the main line and Center City go hand in hand. So many people sell in Center City, they move to the main line. Many people move to the main line, move to Center City. So now I'm in both markets. And it's funny, I have a parking spot now. When I go out there, I have a parking spot.
You have for the first time in 34 years.
Yeah.
Because that Fifth and Walnut, that was a bear to park over there.
That was brutal. Yeah.
Brutal location, but beautiful location nonetheless.
Yeah. Off the charts location, world class. But yeah, but the average, 15 tickets a month.
Yeah. You don't miss that for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about the market. People moving from Center City to the main line before for years, and we've been working in Center City. It's been people moving a lot more in the last 10 years from mainline to the Center City as they empty nest. So what are you seeing right now? You have a pretty strong handle on both markets.
Yes. It's during that downturn, that freaked me out. I've never been home a weekday in my life. And then all of a sudden I think it was March 19th, we got shut down, and it was crazy. So the first message though, with COVID was, we just reached out to all our clientele and talked about, health and safety, and sent everybody home, and just talked about that. Saw what people did. We just shut down business, and spent the next month just reassuring people that the world will be okay. If there's anything I can help you out with, and stuff like that. So we were down 2 months. Told my staff, nobody's getting laid off. I have your money saved in the bank. Nobody's, so I wanted to reassure that. So 2 months into it, once I think it was May 26th around, once we got back out,
right.
June ended up being my best month in 34 years. And I think we sold 107 properties. July, my best month in 34 years, I think 120 properties. So off the charts, unbelievable. But I call that was like a barrier, a flood wall, and it burst open because we were shut down for almost 3 months when no one could buy real estate. No one could sell real estate. People took their homes off the market. And when the floodgates opened, all these people needed to buy, and there was no product. So
Right.
multiple bids, it was exciting. It was unbelievable.
It felt good to be when that happened,
Oh
right?
my goodness, yes, yes. And but again, the safe conditions, and we were I was very strict on during that downturn. No one went out, but August it kind of mellowed back out, and now September it started to pick up. We are. Listen, I am very concerned. To me, I do see clouds on the horizon. I'm very concerned. The high-end condominium market is really dramatically changed. And over my 30 years, I always looked at what was happening in New York, what was happening in California.
Sure.
And usually 6 months, 9 months, a year later, it would come to our marketplace because we're a little bit behind. And Manhattan is emptying out right now, so that makes me concerned. San Francisco's, my uncle from San Francisco said, Mike, things are down like 30%. I can't believe it. And he's been there 30 some years. So I am concerned. Listen, Center City, Philadelphia, and the real estate market will be okay over time, but I am very concerned about the near future. So I'm just telling my agents we got to, we have to kill it now. Tell my sellers, if you want to sell now, now's the best time to sell. And if you can find a place to buy, it's a good time to buy, as long as it's not short term. The low interest rates, you might pay more for a property, but over time. But the bottom line is the luxury condominium market is absolutely softening. I've been still pretty good on my luxury housing market in Center City, but I'm concerned. The millennials are buying like crazy. That $300 to $600 price range, nothing's affecting them right now as long as they have jobs. But I'm worried about unemployment. I'm worried about COVID. I'm worried about the election. I'm worried about the debt. So there's things I'm worried about. But the one thing, being around 34 years and going through 5 downturns, whatever is thrown at us, we just adjust. We advise our clients. And we move forward. So what I love about real estate is in tough times, people need us more than in easy times. In easy times, anybody can sell real estate. And in tough times, they need us more. So we have to come up with the solution.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And we have to really buckle down. During COVID, first thing I said to everybody on my team was, we need to do all the things that we haven't had the time to do when we were so busy running around being successful. So we got more, we went on many podcasts, many Zooms, and just started to learn a lot of the things that we haven't had the time to do and retool ourselves. Work on our database, work on additional marketing, just work on a lot of stuff in the downturn. So when we came out, we were more successful and had more tools.
Did you get a lot accomplished during that time?
We did. Yeah. My whole business, in the last year and a half has just changed. The systems, the operations, it's never run better. And a lot of that was, move after 27 years, leaving Prudential, Berkshire Hathaway, and walking into a new environment was kind of crazy for me. But it reinvigorated, and my systems changed over the next 6 months. So my operations have never been better. We found a lot of ways to grow our business without just buying Zillow and Realtor.com and stuff like that, because I wanted to get off of that drug.
Are you off of it?
No, I'm down probably 60%, 70% spend on that. And it's
a tough thing to break away from.
Very, 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 very tough.
But once you do, freedom.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny. And with Zillow, it's really like supporting our enemy, because they really do want to take us over and remove the role of us, and who knows what their plans are. So we found a lot of ways to get off of that, and I am getting slowly and steadily off of that.
That's good, because it's all about building your brand, your agent's brand. Because Zillow can't do that for us.
No, it's a temporary thing, and it's part of the. Listen. One of the things I do want. Real estate to me is the best. If you're a realtor, is the best career in the history of the world. It's unlimited opportunity. It's you don't need 12 years of school to do that. If you can be an entrepreneur, you can whatever your beliefs are and your how hard and smart you work and the people you associate, you can grow. So you can come from nothing and build a great business. And the best part about it is you're very important. This is why I love it so much. I'm very important in people's lives. Like people rely on me. It's one of the biggest decisions that they make is buying and selling. That divorce, buying and selling a house are the most stressful things. And I'm a big part of their life. So I take that very seriously. And from day one, I always educated myself so that I could give them the best advice. And with real estate, you can just grow your business. Nobody can lay me off. Nobody can cut my pay. I'm a function of the market. And then real estate is such a collaboration. Like we're competitors, yet we're good friends. We cooperate with each other. I learned that really early on in real estate. To be successful, you have to have the best reputation in the marketplace because everybody cooperates. And the more you cooperate with our fellow agents, I want you to do great. I want your company to do great. I love that. I'd rather work with professional, good, successful people than people that that bicker or come in and out of the business. So I've always wanted from 34 years ago our industry to get better and better and better. And it's gotten so much more professional and so much better. And that's why I love helping agents, whether they're on my team, on my company, on your company, on any company. That's been my role in the business for a long time. And one of my keys to success is have the best reputation, not just with your clients, but in the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. You've done a really great job of that, and always wanting to figure out a way to get a meeting of the minds on a transaction, right? Is how do we help the buyers and the sellers? Sometimes we need a little bit of extra guidance, and sometimes the agent needs a little bit of extra guidance in order to get that to the next level.
Yeah.
So you've had a team since, gosh, you entered the business 34 years ago, so in the 80s.
Yes.
I remember you telling the story, how I've heard your story a lot, and plus you've told it to me personally about how you started with the vacuum cleaners. And so today if we sit here in 2020, October 7th, and your team, what does it look like today?
So my team is my family. It's the most important thing to me. And this is honestly why I align with Keller values. It's God, family, and work. And that's always been my values. And when I finally stopped fighting Keller Williams, I when they came into the market, I was like, oh, man, the Ponzi scheme and multi, rah but when I finally decided that I needed to have growth, I liked what Gary was doing. I looked into it, and the values aligned with mine. So
is that what changed your mind about them?
Yeah, what changed my mind was that Gary is the only realtor that is fighting for the realtors, and he invested $1 billion in technology. The company is owned 51% by him, 49% by the agent. It was a brilliant system. And when I first met him, I was like, I thought he'd be like a Tony Robbins, like a rah-rah. He's not. He's a smart, down-to-earth a guy, and he talks off the cuff just like me, and he talks about the struggles over the 30-some years with the company. And it really reemerged after the downturn of the 08 to 12 downturn. He wrote those books. And I just saw people nationally, I was a top agent in Berkshire for 17 years in the country. And I just saw more and more people on my national level leaving and going there and watching them grow. And I'm a loyalist. I just fought that change. But finally by 18, I'm like, wow, this company is going like this. Our company is going like this. And I need to align myself with the best in the business. So I looked into it, I opened up my mind, and I decided to make that change because it was just a realtor fighting for realtors instead of the Redfins, the Zillows, the big corporation companies. And it's re-energized me so much. It's unbelievable. And now I tell people, yes, I drank the Kool-Aid and it's sweet as could be. It's not a Ponzi scam. It's everybody's invested in the company so that the company moves forward. So we were thinking about doing an ISA, inside sales agent, to just start calling our clientele and following up. So we reached out, and one of the top agents in the world spent 4 hours with my support staff, giving us scripts, telling us how to do it, everything. Cost them, 4 hours on that, and so that's the kind of giving that you find at the Keller culture. I actually have chills thinking about it because it's been so supportive.
The collaboration, is definitely, I know a lot of people from around the country in KW, and it's definitely a very collaborative environment.
Yeah. So my team, it's never been better. I've had one, but I hire for life. It's like the Hotel California, that song. It's such a beautiful place, but you can never. I have a 22-year assistant, 19-year assistant. More than half my team's been with me more than a decade. I want everybody to grow, and that's from you give more than you receive, and good things happen. And we're like a family. So it's grown. My systems have gotten better. So right now we have seven full-time support staff, 22 agents, and then some of my agents have a support staff. So it's about 11 total support staff. And we're a support thing. It's funny. It's tough because we're not in the office right now. The office is open, but everybody's working from home. You can pop in the office and do stuff, but we're not in the office. So we do miss that. We do our coffee break meeting once a week, and we're speaking as much as we can, but I do miss my team family. It's very important. To me, if you have loyalty in your life, if you help people grow, you don't pigeonhole them. You can just, I enjoy as my people grow, and I empower them to give them the tools. The one thing I say in real estate, nobody can do it for you, but if you're around the right people that can point you in the right direction, and you want it more than anything, it's the best business in the world, and I'm so important in people's lives. That's what I like. People say, they call me up for everything. I'm their therapist. I'm their, I help them with accountant, contractor, movers, therapist. Like I'm a very important person in people's lives, and I love that. When I did my announcement that I was moving companies after 27, you should have saw the videos, the texts, the messages I got from my people saying, "Mike, you saw my home 20 years ago. I can't believe this is what we look like now." Just like that, I must have 3,000 messages from past clients. Anyway, so I'm still. I try to stay involved with my people from before, to grow the team, to grow the company, to support the industry, and giving back. I got involved in the board of realtors early on in my career. I got involved with helping get the MLS on. Like I got involved with.
You were around with the books.
Yeah, I was around with the books, and
The book came out once a week, right?
Yes, and I was with Jonathan Green. I went to a convention, and I said out in California, and they had on the computer, they had the MLS. I came back to the board of realtors, and I said, "This is crazy." And I was involved with Jonathan Green, Cheryl Adams, and so people, and we ended up getting the multiple listing on the computer.
What year was that? Do you remember?
In like 1988, 1987, 1988. And my wife said, "Mike, you can't talk about the 80s because most of the people now you're talking to weren't even born in the 80s. But and I hired my first assistant in 89. I hired a second assistant in 92, and then buyer agency came out about 95, and that but 96 was when I hired my first buyer's agent, so I didn't have to work Saturdays, so I could be with my family on Saturdays. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother world. Think about everything that you had to do before that we don't do now, right? Like I remember getting into business and having to go to all these places to pick up keys.
Yes. Yes.
And then I get tickets.
Yes.
Because I had to go to Fifth and Walnut to pick up keys. Multi-family buildings. Then there's a key.
It's funny that, and listen, the millennials, the young people, or the newer people in the business, like when we start to say this, I just sound like some old dude. But the reality, I used to have to call 5 agents to show 5 properties, wait for them to return my phone call, then drive to 5 offices. A lot of times the key wasn't there because someone else had it out. I mean, it is so much easier. But
so much easier. You could do so much more.
Yeah, listen, and when the multiple listing started to get on the internet, when the internet came out, everybody freaked out and said, "We're going to go the way of the travel agent. They won't do us. We need to keep that information to us. We can't give that to the public." And everybody fought that in the real estate community. And the reality of it is, now the customer has all the information. They know as much as the realtor most of the time or more. But they do their due diligence, yet they use a realtor today more than back then. So so it's so much easier. Instead of me showing 30 houses, I might show 5 houses before someone buys a house. So the innovation has been great for our business. So multiple listings save so much time. Then the lock boxes. Yes, I remember I put lock boxes on Center City. I think it was the late 90s. And agents were yelling at me, "You can't do that. This isn't the suburbs. That house will get broken into." I did it. Then I remember using the appointment center. I was spending $55,000 a year for the appointment center before it became everybody in the company. And people were like, "Yeah, but it saved us time to set those appointments up and notify stuff."
Yeah,
now, that comes with your company.
It was crazy back when you had to literally call 5 agents, and then you're trying to call, somebody who's a busy person and they don't have an assistant and they're in an appointment and you're trying to schedule an appointment.
Yeah.
Crazy time. So speaking of that and I think, right now being a solo agent, what do you think of that and entering the business now as an independent by yourself with no team at all?
Okay. So yeah, let's get to talking about today because I could talk about yesterday forever. Being an independent agent, to me, I always tell people, a lot of people have teams, but a lot of people, it's about the team person. It might just be all about them. So I would enter the business with somebody who's going to give me support as an independent agent. I would test that market. I would try to learn everything. I tell agents, real estate's the greatest business in the history of the world, but your first year, you have to be prepared to carry yourself. Like I worked in the restaurant business from 5:30 in the morning till 10:30 in the morning, so I could subsidize my income. And then I worked weekends and weddings and stuff. So I tell people the first 6 months, you'll be lucky if you make anything. So you have to have reserve. You have to go with the company. You have to educate yourself. But if you spend a year internship, you'll know whether this business is for you. If this business is for you, by year 2, you'll start to do well. By year 3, if you love this business, you'll do better than 99% of your friends and everybody else. So I would come into this business as a new agent, and I would work at a good office that encourages education, growth. I would try to sit people. Well, listen, I throw people in the fire. I love learning, but I'm not a classroom person by action. So the new agent comes, and this is like at Berkshire and at Keller now. I have 40 to 60 agents that sit my open houses. They're new agents within the company. I just say, get out, open your store, do open houses, create that list, build a follow-up system. Now I do Zoom open houses. Take some of my listings, do Zoom open houses. So look at what people are doing. If you start to see people that you like and you want to join a team and it's going to be win-win or go home, 1 and 1 is 3, meaning they'll provide you leads and support. What do I provide I provide them leads, I provide them support, and I provide them mentorship. and overcome a lot of objections. So I can help their growth accelerate so much faster. But they have to. It can't be. I can't make all the money. You know, it has to be win-win or go home. So I would come in as a new agent. Sometimes people come in as team on a team, and that person isn't provide them with leads and doesn't supply them with support.
Right. No, there are definitely a lot of fake teams out there.
Yeah, fake teams. Yeah,
fake teams. I mean, the whole idea of a team is that you're getting more than you would get if you were just on your own, and that you're cutting the learning time in half or in 3/4 because you have a mentor, you have opportunity, you have support, and then your job is to go out, make the calls, show the properties, and bring it and help that client get their home, right?
Yes, Marie. If you knew if there was a good team and you had the choice between a good team or being on your own, I tell you to be on a good team in a heartbeat. No question about it. It will accelerate your growth. It gives you camaraderie. It gives you leads. What's the biggest thing? As a salesperson, I'm sales. My support staff is details. I don't type agreements. You know, I'll dictate that. It'll be sent out to my clients.
Sure.
I don't prepare my listing booklets. I have somebody do that for me. I don't do my dot loops. So I have someone do that. So I can go. I like to have three listing appointments a day, and in between, I return my calls. I delegate work, and then I go into my next appointment. Get out, return my calls, delegate work, go out to the next, and then I'm grateful to my support staff. I tell them every day, "You're the best. Thank you so much. I love you." You know, like you have to have a great, high energy, positive environment, and people have to love what they do, and that's why you hire right. What I did learn in real estate is you hire slow and you fire fast. Unfortunately, I've not had to fire many, and very few people have ever left me. But we hire so much better now than we did before. We have this whole KPA system that Keller taught us. And it's funny, I was using recruiters from Keller for the last 6-7 years because they have a really good system on recruiting people. Not agents, I'm talking about support staff.
Lindsay?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, very good. Yes.
I love her.
She's awesome. And and then it's funny, they wanted us to do the Keller. I'm like, don't feed me any of that stuff. We just hire. And we became good friends. She respected that. And I promoted her like crazy, but great recruiting service. Just great. So they weeded it down. And my wife will be making my lunch in the morning and she'll be watching a YouTube video of somebody that had been weeded down to real close to meeting us. So my wife, she's my details. You met her briefly setting this.
Yes.
Listen, and that's the other thing I have to tell you, Marie, is my wife allowed me to succeed. You have to have a good partner because in real estate, you control your hours, but your hours are not 9 to 5. And we made a pact early on. I said, I'll work both. She said, I'll stay home with the children and I would work both jobs. But yet she runs everything. She runs the house. She pays my bills. She packs me lunch so I stay healthy. She runs a lot of stuff. And then I could just let my business grow because, I could grow my business. And then we had commitments where, in 96, I stopped working Saturdays. In 99, I stopped working Sundays. So I'd be home Friday night at 7 and I wouldn't meet a client until Monday. So I could be with my children and family because success is not about money. Listen, when I didn't have any money and I had tons of debt, you think money is the most important thing. Once you start to have success, success is about your health. Success is about your loved ones, your family, and success is about a growing business, and success is about the people that you work with. So all areas, if one is off, if your health is not good, you are not wealthy. If the people you work with hate you, you are not wealthy. If your family, like I didn't want to end up successful, divorced, and my children hate me. You're not successful. It's that whole package. To me, is the joy of life. And so having that positive energy and having a good support at home really helped me to succeed. She didn't say, Mike, why back before dot loop and all this stuff, Monday through Thursday, I might be up till 10 or 11 o'clock at night. I do a listing at 5:30, a listing at 7:30. I'd run around between 9 and 10, getting agreements signed. Remember when you used to have to go to people's houses?
Have to go to people's houses.
Dot Loop and the other one, DocuSign changed my life. I remember it was a Friday night. I got an offer at 6, and at 7 it was signed and returned. Like that would have been the whole weekend, me trying to hook up with everybody. Like,
yeah, I actually remember those days. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Going back, and right now, right, I feel so fortunate, like you, to be in this business.
Yeah.
Because we have the greatest opportunity to make a difference in people's lives, people that work with us, but our clients. And the biggest transaction they'll ever make is buying or selling a home or investment. I love working in investment real estate and helping people earn income in real estate, whether they're buy and hold or they're doing flips or new construction or whatever. But I think it's a great career for somebody. But like you said, I mean, you do need to hunker down and know that you're going to be working like 7 days a week for the first couple of years just to learn, because you need to get that momentum.
Wait, listen. I said I didn't meet clients on Saturday. Doesn't mean I'm not working. No one knew that I wasn't meeting anybody. Listen, I negotiate transactions, deal with inspections, return phone calls, do feedback. So I time block now. So
what's your schedule look like?
So
and we can help some agents out here.
Yeah, I'm not one of those 5 a.m.ers. I'll tell you that right now. So I am pretty systematized. Everyone will tell you no one returns an email, text, or phone call faster than me, and it is me. But like today, I probably have 9 appointments, and they're boom, boom, boom.
So you're funny, because people said, "Does he really return? Is that really him answering it?" Because he has like 9 assistants, and yes. I would say somebody else. I said, I'm pretty sure Mike's answering his stuff.
Yeah, I pray. There's times where someone is covering my miscellaneous emails right now, because I will be on appointments all day today. Usually I allow gaps, but between my current business, the McCann Team, my new business, and my schedule's crazy. Recruiting, my schedule's crazy. Pretty consistent. I come home the night before. I come home. Well, I make the coffee the night before. I set it for 6 o'clock.
Oh.
My wife. So I'm not a 5 a.m. or a 4 a.m. or any of that stuff. I'm about 6:15, 6:30. My wife gets the coffee that I made the night before. We have a pot of coffee in bed. That's our quality time. Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, about 7:15, I get up and I clear my email. I take a hot tub and I do some push-ups. Then about 8:15, I'm showered. 8:30, I'm going out, grab my lunch, and try to be on my first 9 o'clock appointment. And then I try to have a 9. Then I try to have a 12. I try to have a 3. I try to have a 5:30 or 6. That's my day. In between, I'm doing stuff. I get home. Normally, it's about 7:30, 8 o'clock. And that's my nights. And when I come in, I unload everything. I get my clothes ready. I make the coffee. And then I shut down from 8 to 10. My wife and I will talk. I'll have my dinner, and then we'll watch Netflix. I love Netflix, so we're watching Netflix. And then she goes up at 10, and I'll be back on the phone from 10 till midnight. I'm a night person, and I'm a morning person because of her, and I'm a night person too. So really from 7:15 in the morning till midnight, I'm accessible with some gaps in between. I love the business. It's not like work. I love helping people. I tell my people, my agents, my customers, nothing's too small for me. Nothing's too big for me. And I love guiding them through. I love the wins. I love helping overcoming the issues. And that's why in this business, the more education you have, the more solutions you can come up with. And if you have more education, you can have confidence. What are we? We are confidence builders, meaning most buyers are scared, most sellers are scared, most agents are scared. And we just have to carry them and do what's best for them, always do what's best for the customer, and carry them and say, this is going to be okay. This is how, come up with the solution. If you were my brother or my sister or my mom or my dad, this is what I would do. And tell them Don't just say, here's the situation. Give them the solution. And that's why I do love the title of your thing. And listen, I love your passion for the business. I love how you're growing your business. I love how you're into your business. That's what I want. Growing people in business that learn this. One other thing, and I'll stop rambling, is I do love how many people I have made successful through investment. You realize people have the biggest wealth most people have at the end of their life when we deal with these is their home. So if my family member, my friend, a client can own 2, they have double wealth. They can own 3, they have triple wealth. They can own 4. So when I got into business, I met this guy who was, I didn't even think he could afford to buy this $30,000 house in Pennsport. He had jeans and an undershirt on. His teeth were crooked. He wasn't that groomed. And he wanted to offer cash for this $30,000 house. This is like in the 80s. And I'm like, oh, this guy can't buy it. Again, never judge. He ended up buying the house. I ended up becoming his friend. He was like 42. He had retired from plumbing. He said to me, Mike, he said, I want to take you out on my boat. So I said, okay. So we went down to Chesapeake. His boat was the size of a city block in Philadelphia. This guy started buying properties when he was 20 years old. He retired at 38. He bought one or two homes a year in Pennsport, Passyunk Square. And he said, Mike, I love homes. I buy 1 or 2 a year. I get them paid off in 10 years. And I'm 42 and I retired at 38. He said, because they're all paid off. The people stay. So I went home to my wife. This is 88. I said, hon, we're buying 1 home a year. This guy did this. And, and that was the best move I ever did. So I always bought 1 or 2 homes a year, get 15-year loans, get them paid off. So I taught so many of my clients that. And again, being in business all the time, I've made so many people very, very wealthy. I love flippers. I love rehabbers. But I tell agents, you make money selling real estate, you build wealth owning real estate. And that was Alan Dom in 89.
Yes.
When I took a class with him at Temple Real Estate Institute, because before the computer, I went to Temple Real Estate Institute every semester. And I met Alan Dom. 2 things Alan Dom taught me. He was probably my only mentor in real estate, other than now Gary Keller. And Alan Dom, I just really always looked up to him and loved the guy. And I just followed him from afar and took a class with him. But he taught me the other thing. He said, Mike, and this is in 89. He said, Mike, if you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant. Nobody had assistants back then. Like he said, let me explain it to you. If your value is $10 an hour and you can hire somebody for $5 an hour to do the things that you don't need to do, you will double your income. And in 89, I was making $43,000 a year. I had $10,000 in debt. I had sold 90 homes in 1988. I made $43,000. Don't forget, brokerages, you got 50% back then. The average price was $40,000. So, but I saved up 3 months of pay, and I hired somebody, and I said, listen, I have a temporary job for you. I hope it works out, but I'm a commission sales agent. I only have 3 months of pay in the bank.
Right.
Within a month, I knew that this was really good. And that year I made an additional $40,000. And that was all from Alan Dom saying, if you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant. And I tell anybody that will listen to me, I'm like Nike. I mean, what is their saying?
Just do it. Just do it.
You just have to do it. You can't get too, I'm so glad I'm not super analytical. My wife is brilliant. I always say, I'm a C student, but if I love something, I'll become an A+. When I played football, I was a skinny little kid with long hair. The coach would say, the littlest kid on the team's got the most heart. He works the hardest, and I started. You're like, and that's what I love about real estate. Look at the best people in the business. And this is what I got from, I'm just giving you some of my core values that allowed me to be successful and learned from a few people in my life. I sold vacuum cleaners door to door in 1979 to 82. Interest rates were 21%. The country was in horrible condition, way worse than the 08 downturn. 79, everything, the gas prices, the gas lines, every job closed. Everybody was on unemployment. And I took a job selling vacuum cleaners. I was 19 years old, and the guy was my mentor. I was selling $644 vacuum cleaners door to door. I'd walk around the houses knocking on doors. And he taught me so many things that I do want to share. And I got to tell you, what time is it? Because I do have to leave at 9:20.
You have to leave.
Okay, so just real quick. James B. Marion III is my mentor, and he taught me some things that I live by today, and my team all know that if you believe you can achieve, never, never, never give up. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Can't means won't. I can't do that. No, that means you won't do it, McCann. Every morning he would bring us, we'd meet at 8 in the morning, we'd have coffee, play some music. We would do these singing songs to
Get you
he'd bring
up.
you up front. McCann, how many appointments did you have today? Yeah, and he would, if you did good, he'd cheer you. If you did bad, he would cheer you down. He'd probably would be put in jail today, for abuse. But we grab our machines at 9 o'clock. We drive out to our sites. We go knocking on doors. And man, I didn't want to show up the next morning and say I didn't have 3 appointments. But he taught me, like, Mike McCann, if he can do it, you can do it. Is he better looking than you? Is he smarter than you? So he just taught me a lot of those things. And he said, if you're not a success by the time you're 30, you're probably not going to be a success. If you don't develop great habits, you're not going to be successful. And he just taught me that if you believe, and this guy had gone from nothing to being a very family-oriented multimillionaire opening these franchises, even though he had a law degree. So he was my mentor to not stay in the economic level that I was in prior to that. And my friends, I'm 19 years old. It's in the late 70s, old long hair. My friends made fun of me when I'm selling vacuums, but within a month, I made like $750. I won this jukebox, and now they looked up to me.
Now who's laughing?
Yeah. So anyway, but real estate's like that. Real estate is if you want to help people, if you want to you have to just be around successful people. You have to educate yourself. You have to do what's best for the client. And I'm going to end with this. 3 things I learned in real estate is have the best reputation in the marketplace, work the hardest, but today I say work the hardest and smartest, and become the most educated. Those 3 things every day on a consistent basis, do what's best for the customer will make you successful.
It has to.
Yeah. But you're a prime example of that too, girl. Come on. You're growing your company. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in people. You're helping other people become successful. I think that's it. So yes, I do have to go. I have to meet somebody.
Mike, thank you very much for continuing to be the solution to your family, your colleagues in the office, your new endeavor. I wish you the best and all success and all that. And I'm very grateful and appreciative of your time this morning. I know how busy you are. So thank you for everything and for being a great motivator in our community.
Well, keep on keeping on, you too. Okay. Have a great day.
Have a great one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.